name is Paul Psolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center and ivymasters.com. And today we're going to look at Test 5, Section 1, number 24 and 25. Sometimes for a reading question, there's several things you've got to keep in mind. And we see that with number 24 and 25. It is a paired question. So for these, sometimes there's more than one line reference that legitimately answers the question. If there is, only one of them is going to have a match. Sometimes more than one for this number 24 type question might seem to work. But if that's the case, only one of them is going to have a match. And then, so if you read the question and you're like, hey, I don't even understand what the question's asking. If you find the match, you're most likely going to have your correct answer. Here's the kicker. Sometimes there's more than one match. And if there's more than one match, then only one of them is directly answering the question. It's one thing to keep in mind, or that's several things to keep in mind already. Another thing to keep in mind is if the blue team is stronger but less talented, how is the red team? The red team must be weaker and more talented. You get that type of a question on the SAT sometimes, and as it turns out, 24 to 25 is that type of question. And for what else? We're going to go to the actual question itself. 24 reads, which choice best reflects the perspective of the environmentalists in line 27 on conventional agriculture? And I've already marked out A, B, C, D within the passage. So we go to the passage. And this is the sentence that's being discussed. Of course, that's not how most environmentalists regard their arugula, which is a leafy green. When you read that sentence, if you're reading for understanding, then you know you have to read before. Anytime you see the word this or that or these or those, you got to read before. If it says that's not how most environmentalists regard their arugula, what's not how most environmentalists regard their arugula? We would have to read before, and in the paragraph before, the premise is that it takes up a lot of space. Farmland worldwide takes up a lot of space. So if you could get more crop per square acre, then it's more efficient and it's better because then you don't have to destroy forests and other wild habitats in order to create more farmland. And what it's telling you is that conventional farming takes up less land. You could get more crops per acre conventionally farmed than you can organically farmed. So then it goes from there to say, of course, that's not how most environmentalists regard their arugula, which is one of the options here. And again, what's their perspective? Now, it said that's not how they regard it, but we didn't really get their perspective yet. So they, meaning environmentalists, have embraced organic food as better for the planet and healthier and tastier too than the stuff produced by agricultural corporations. So if they think organic is better for the planet, then they would think conventional is worse for the planet. If they think organic is healthier and tastier, then they would think conventional is not as healthy and does not taste as good. And as it turns out, I know I kind of gave it away, but that does wind up directly answering your question. And what does it match here? It produces inferior, because the question's asking about conventional agriculture, not organic. Produces inferior fruits and vegetables. They're not as healthy, they don't taste as good, and is detrimental to the environment, not as good for the planet. Let's go through the other line references and see if they actually answer the question as far as the perspective of the environmentalists on conventional agriculture. And we get with answer choice C, environmentalists disdain the enormous amount of energy needed and waste created by conventional farming, while organic practices passing up artificial fertilizers and chemical pesticides are considered more sustainable. That legitimately does answer the question, but we don't really have a match for your number 24 question. And then we'll see answer choice D. More land is therefore needed to produce fewer crops, and that means organic farming may not be as good for the planet as we think. Now, it's talking about organic farming. If there were an answer choice, that said that conventional takes up less room and is better for the planet than we think, then that would be our answer. But apparently we don't have a match. Answer choice B, talking about conventional agriculture. It is energy efficient and reduces the need to convert wilderness to farmland. That's not our correct answer. As far as energy efficiency goes, it's efficient as far as space goes, but energy efficiency is not discussed there. Answer choice C, it is good for the environment only in the short run. And by the way, B was talking about how environmentalists regard conventional farming. Environmentalists would not admit to that. Answer choice C, it is good for the environment only in the short run. And it's just not stated in the passage. Answer choice D, it depletes critical resources but protects wildlife habitats. Now, an environmentalist who is in favor of organic farming might say something like that, but it has no basis in the passage. The passage is saying that conventional agriculture does not protect wildlife. Well, actually it does protect wildlife, but again, the environmentalists would not either know that or admit to that as far as it's presented in the passage. Depletes critical resources. That's how environmentalists probably would say what they would say about conventional agriculture, but again, not mentioned in the passage. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. See the full-length video, you're on it right now. We also have a shorter version of the video on TikTok. If there's any question you'd like to answer from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.